Okay, this is part 2 of cutting my bob. If you're looking at this, please go back to part 1. I tell the type of hair that I do have in my hair. Um, and I show how I've done the back all the way up to the front. So if you're just coming here, go back to part 1. Okay, so now I haven't done anything. I've just pressed record again. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to start on that back. It depends on what you want. If you're just a plain, like you just, that's all you wanted, you just wanted that boom, bob, and then you just want to curl it as is, then you are done. You can be done. What you would just do is go back, get you another mirror, make sure that the back is cut evenly, that it's going straight into that sliding effect, that you don't have too many hairs kind of up and down, that it is just a smooth transition and you can begin to curl your hair. If you like a little bit more funk, if you like to get funky with it, then you on my, this is what I'm feeling right now. So you want to do a little bit more chopping. You want that thing to be edgy, so when you cut that, it's like blow, blow. Okay, so if that's what you want, that's what I'm about to give to you. So anyway, so let's get started on the back. Now, what I first start doing to make my layers in the back, because I want that full where it goes into those layers and it just shapes your head. The shaping comes from the cutting, the texturizing, and the layering. So what I want to do with the back, because I want it to be full and I want that thing to just be like shoo, I'm going to start from the top of my hair, my hair, whatever. And let me just, and I'm going to cut across, and that is going to be my guide, meaning that every hair that I cut after that will go in line with this guide. So the shorter you want the back to be, is the more fuller it will be. The longer it will be, the more flatter really it will be. So I want mine really choppy. I want the length, because I have this super long. So I want a little length, but not a whole lot. I want it to look drastic. So the more drastic I want it, the farther I'll cut. So I think that I'm going to start this baby off right here. And this will be my guide. Always stop at your knuckle. Do not do what I'm doing, because you can cut your finger. You're supposed to stop at your knuckle and then really comb. Stay at your guide. So you make sure that, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just can't be obedient right now to the hair school. But you don't want to be cutting your knuckles up, because you will. Let me look before I cut my, I get so many nicks because I just don't follow the rules. But, so, you make sure that your guide is straight. That is not straight. And it doesn't matter if you lose your guide as you're combing through, because remember, that piece is always going to be cut. Okay? So, that is my guide. My arm is tired, y'all. 1 second. Ooh. This training. That is my guide. I want to make my guide all the way around here. So I'm going to continue to make sure that my guide . is cut. And as even as possible. So now that my guide is cut, you see my guide, because I want that thing to be layered down. Everywhere after that, I'm going to follow my guide. So now I parted across. Now I'm parting up and down. I'm using terms that are very, very simple. I say up and down. I'm not going to go vertical, diagonal. Go. I want you to see up and down across. That's what I'm basic, so you can get this. Okay. You see your guide, right? Do I? I need to make my guide over here too, because I don't think I ever cut my guide over here. No, I didn't. So I'm just cutting my guide, y'all. I'm not cutting my guide. I'm cutting the other hair to create a guide on all sides. Okay. So my guide is here, here, and here, because that's where all the layering is going to be. So instead of just going in and chopping, you always should have a guide. So now when I go down, I can follow my guide. I see my guide is right there. So I don't want to recut my guide. What I'm just going to do is follow my guide. And that's all I'm going to do. Is just keep following my guide and pulling it straight out and making sure that everything is the same length as my guide, because I want a short and choppy effect. So what I'm doing is just simply following my guide, and as you can see, that's when the layers start to form. But that's not it. That's not it. Now you see right here where the bottom of this hair is kind of shorter than my guide, right? What I'm doing firstly is getting all the hairs at the top the same length as my guide. Firstly, to get all that out. There are shorter and quicker ways. You can just go in and just simply cut straight down like I did with this. You can simply cut straight down, but to ensure that you have your hair even all the way around, I'd follow a guide. It'll still look hot because I've done it, and I probably would just be I would be doing a guide, cutting, going down, and just really just getting it done. But since I'm going to show you all how to do it, I want to show you how to do it in a way that you can follow. You know, instead of just going through and chopping things, then I just slide down. I just want to show y'all. Okay? So I want to make sure there's my guide, and I'm just going to go from the bottom just to follow my guide. Just because it's easier. Okay? And you see that. And I'm just pulling it out, making sure that everything is where my guide is. Okay, let me turn around to the back. Now, okay, I pretty much did this guide, and as you can see, there's some pieces that are a little longer, and once I flatten my hair, I will be able to cut it even more, because I'm not gonna, you know, I'm pretty sure once I flatten it, I'm gonna see a whole lot more other pieces that need to be cut because it's flatter. But I'll try to cut as much as possible now while I'm doing this. So I'm pulling out my mirror so I can see y'all and you can see me. So now as I get to the back, I want to make sure all this hair, as I turn it around to, okay, all this right here is a little bit too long, and I want that tapered and flat. So I'm going to have to cut that. So what I do is, I think that you could see it better like this. Yeah. Is I would pull that up. Sorry, I have to do it. I have to turn around the other side. Wow. Work with me, y'all. I'm trying to get it so y'all can see it. What I would have to do, see how that is, even if that was flat, that's still like a chunk in that middle. Okay? I want to make sure that all of this is even. See how that's just very uneven? Stuff just all over the place. I want to pull that out, and I need to follow a guide. Remember, not supposed to cut across the knuckle. But you ain't scared, I ain't scared. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And what I'm doing is I'm just evening that out. See that? All this is just extra hair just there for no reason. See all that? All that is just disrespectful. You got to go. You got to go. And I'm just making sure and you're going to have to keep pulling out and cutting. Instead of cutting my fingers off, I just grab more and go back and get those pieces that I, just so happened to not be able to get. And see, instead of cutting your finger off. So crazy. It feels like it's easier to do this not looking than looking. Because usually I'm not looking at this. And when you're looking, you're just like, wow, it's just piece after piece after piece that's just irking me. Okay? So in doing this, you're just really going to be grabbing hair and evening. Oh my goodness, where is the hair? And evening it out. And do you see how that bulk is just going down? And it'll go down even more as I flat iron it. But for the most part, I just want to make sure that This is scraped. Okay. So now I've pretty much, and as you see, I've cut right here. I do not want to do big chops right there because I want to keep it long. So that's what I'm going to take my scissors and slide. That's what I'm going to do to slide. I'm not going to follow a guide on there because I don't want that chopped up like that. So that's when I just slide. Okay? From where the cutting starts. And just continue to slide. From where that guide was on the hair. And just slide. So it doesn't look like cut long. You know what I'm saying? So where my guide is right here. And just slide. So I'm doing it on the top surface of the hair. I'm not cutting all the way through into this back hair. It's just really cut on the surface to give you that very blended look instead of looking like it's just straight a mess. Know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I want to take my bangs higher to about right there. And I just cut it with that sliding effect. Okay? You see that? I mean, and that's what I just do. I just keep going through, making sure that everything is even. That there's no points. Really. That there is no, see that? And right here, I'm like, and now with this part, I'm going, cutting downwards. Because at this point, this is going into my angle. So I don't want to just cut that like that. Now right here, you see where I wanted that hair to really, that's where I really want the hair to drop. But I want to make sure that this is right. So I'm going on an angle. The closer I get towards the front side of my hair, I'm going on an angle, because if I go straight up and down, I'm going to cut that hair straight, and I want to make sure that the bottom still has its length, because that's where I cut it going to the side. I hope that I'm not confusing anyone with my talking, that you can just kind of look and see. So the same as with this side, I want to make sure that it's really blending in and not looking like just a chop, you know. And now in the back, that's what I'm just doing all over. So it just won't be those big chunks. So it will actually blend. Okay? So now what I need to do, oh my goodness, I went way over. I hope this records. Alright, I'll be back.